This is a basic explanation of the newsletter of the terrible things that have happened in my campaign, because everything's just gone horribly, and I've been told I should probably make a video to explain at least sort of what's happening, cover all the major plot points that's led us to the absolute nightmare my campaign currently is. So this is that. This is the thing. This is that video. Excellent. So, first campaign, first party, how it all started. They started off on like an island, just a random island in the middle of nowhere, accidentally revived like an ancient nightmare dragon, which is like a gross undead version of that nightmare dragon. Terrible. And they finally got to their first village, and in that first village they found like a super suspicious wizard tower, just stuck out super obviously, real suspicious. And they decided to investigate, found a wizard who's just like a healer wizard. He was great, gave them an item or something, healed them a little bit, and after they discovered him, they went on like their first major quest. That major quest introduced patchworks, which are like weird ragdoll creatures, just real unpleasant. People don't like it and such. This is disgusting. They're undead monsters. People hated them, and at the end of the dungeon there was a much larger, more threatening patchwork that was also equally terrible. And for defeating that, they gained a sword that like explodes and equivalent to the magic power of anyone it touches, including the wielder. And one of them got infected by a patchwork in the progress of doing this dungeon. After getting cured by the wizard and like doing some other things, the final payment they gave to the wizard was the sword which explodes. He exploded with such force it caused the apocalypse and destroyed the whole world. So, great plot devices. And then after that, the Draco Lich that someone revived is still just being an issue, causing problems around the town. So someone used a genie to cause a wish to try and get rid of it. That wish was phrased sort of poorly, and just gave it access to the massive power source it needed, which turned it into a demon lord, causing a massive explosion and killing literally all of the elves in my campaign. How do you deal with a lich? Get another lich. That's what someone else did. They went and revived like this terrible spider person lich, which is also an equally disgusting undead monster. And then they went on a combat with everyone there at like a specific island, all the player characters and the liches, big final battle that everything led up to. And then someone took all the magic potential from one of the liches and just blew up everything, completely detonated the world, removing like a third of it. It was terrible. I loved it. Time skip. Thousands, millions, whatever, massive amount of time in the future. We've got a massive city built up. This is the main campaign starting point. Someone else starts up there. World's in chaos because of the terrible, terrible spider lich that someone left alive, because the spider lich is the only one who survived the explosion. And, someone discovered the orb subquest shortly after starting. No one's done anything with that. I'm putting this in here because I'm very upset that no one's really bothered with it. They just took a little bit of it and then moved on. Same person who discovered that also obtained a cursed tome that gave them forbidden knowledge about the campaign and such. At which point he discovered that Arcanum is still running around killing people, causing terrible, terrible problems. And they decide to go fix it. So they gather like all sorts of nonsense magical relics and start working on that, and eventually like find out that he lives in this terrible convoluted anthill like complex, and just managed to lucky roll their way through, and they just sort of burst into this man's house. And he's like, what? Oh god, just take anything you want. Why are you even here? You take all of my relics. So they did that, and then came back with like a terrible dragon they befriended during their relic conquest. And then that dragon literally just consumed the demon lord, just ate him, committed divorce. It was terrifying. Everyone hated it, and that plotline is sort of fixed now. And after that adventure went on like his last adventure in a major important dungeon, and found a cool rock as a relic reward. And upon picking up, he exploded, dying instantly. But because he died from that specific relic, it created 7 extra copies of him that just spawned elsewhere in the campaign. So now he's sort of the big bad, except for he's not actually all that evil. He's more of just an inconvenience. So yeah, although Arcanum is technically a lich and a boss, so his boss item just sort of spawned somewhere in the world, creating a new dungeon, and that's a whole other problem that people haven't dealt with. Anyways, that's the whole explanation until now, I guess. Great. Thing done. I have no outro, so I'm just gonna stop recording.